All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of ISM Radio. I'm your host, Gaige, and I happen to be sitting here tonight with Victor Stabile from Douglas Elliman, and we are here at Oheka Castle for the first ISM Executive Networking event, and we're grateful that you came tonight. We really appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you for having me. This is wonderful. What a beautiful place.
Yeah, have you been here before? Is this your
Only once. I had lunch with Dean.
Okay, so you did come here prior, and you had lunch at OHK, which a lot of people don't even know there's a restaurant inside this castle.
Food's great.
The food's great.
Service is great.
Executive Chef Reed Jalad, he's unbelievable. And it was a hotel here. People have been having venues, weddings here in this venue for, a very, very long time, and they know about that, but they don't know about all the little things that go on here. There's tours. There's so much happening.
You would never know.
You would never know. So you got to check it out at oheka.com, and we're very appreciative. ISM does a lot of work for them, but here we are tonight. It's about you and what you're doing. So 17 years you're in Stony Brook.
Right.
And for the last 7 years, you're a licensed real estate agent for Douglas Elliman.
True.
Tell us how you got into it and your passion behind the work that you do.
Well, yeah. Well, I had a career before this. I was actually in the beauty industry for 30 years.
Okay.
And I knew when I was done with it, I had a few people that would come into the business. And when I started to say, I'm looking for a different career, they'd be like, well, you'd be great, at this because you're so personable and, you could start up a conversation and a relationship within the first 5 minutes because that's what you have to do in any industry.
It's a connection. Absolutely.
Right.
It's a connection.
Exactly. So when I was serious, I went over to one of my clients who was actually working at a different house, so to speak, like whether it be Coach or Coldwell Bank or one of those.
It was a different.
And it was exciting because I knew I wanted to change careers, and to me it was a great fit.
Okay.
It was a perfect fit, and I knew that I didn't want to stay in one space all the time, right? Like an office or
Right.
Like,
and this is bouncing around to show people the houses.
Right.
This was right up your alley.
Right. I love meeting people.
Right.
And I love helping people. Excuse me.
Yeah, no problem.
So to me, it was great. I love dealing with people, especially on the first time. So if someone's coming to buy a home, to me, I want to find out where they are in their journey.
Right.
Are they
Is this their
pre-approved
first
to the
home?
lender? Right. Do they have their own attorney? Because it's very important for buyers, especially buyers, new buyers,
Right.
to have a proper team around them. And I have a great team as far as lenders who get the job done, who get you to closing, who will really iron out a lot of problems that people aren't even aware of.
Right. So give me, what are some of the problems that would arise during a new home?
Oh, good Lord.
Purchase?
I mean, you get some people who right before the mortgage process, they buy a new car.
Right. And they didn't think that would affect them looking into your financials.
Exactly.
And so this is the advice that people need.
They have so much revolving debt, and now they have a car on top of it, or they bought an RV. And these are big things.
Right. So what's a good time frame for people, now that you brought that up, what's a good time frame for people to come to you and say, hey, listen, I would like to purchase a house 12 months from now, 6 months from now. What's the realistic date? And here's my situation. How can you help me? And you put them through fixing the credit, getting the things in order to help them so that your lenders can now approve them and get them. What would the process be?
Right. People are surprised when I say, listen, you're not ready to see a house yet.
Right.
And they're like, what do you mean? I came to you. You're the expert. I said, yes. And please listen to me.
Let me be the expert here.
Right. There's no sense me taking you shopping without money.
Right.
You don't know what you can afford.
Right.
So please talk to one or two of my lenders and see who's a good fit for you. Because then they'll tell you exactly what your financial picture looks like.
Based on your income, what mortgage you can afford. And then don't they need a letter saying that they have to have usually to go around and see a house.
Some agents require that pre-approval letter, not a pre-qualifying letter, which is totally different.
Right.
Pre-qualifying letter says, yeah, you probably will qualify. You'll probably get approved. But they haven't dug deep into your financials.
Right.
Right. So you want that pre-approval letter because you're 50% in, and they know that you could afford X amount, whether it's $750, $800, or $450, or $500.
Right.
But at least you know what you're shopping for. There's nothing worse than seeing the disappointment on people. In the beginning, I would show people I'll show you. I was excited. I want to show you. And I realized that they can't afford it. And
right. You're showing them an $800,000 house, and there's no way they got the pre-approval on an $800,000 mortgage.
Right. So you live and learn, and you say, listen, you need to get properly vetted so you know what you can shop for. you can't shop without money.
Right.
So let's find out what your budget is, and we'll go for that. And in these times, a budget is really, it's an interesting thing. Between, we spoke before, low inventory, higher rates, and
the supply and demand issue.
Supply and demand.
Just like what happened with
a lot of
COVID.
people, right. A lot of people are getting outbid quickly because the people who are throwing more money at homes are so tired of losing out on these homes that they're putting a lot more money down, or they're really bidding high.
Right. And there happened to be, at one point, there were a lot of cash buyers in the market.
There's still a lot of cash buyers in the market.
See? And that does affect the process.
It does. It does. It really wipes out a lot of the lenders, but you have to work around that. You have to get creative.
Right. You're going to get that in any industry.
Any market.
Any market's going to happen.
Any market, you're going to get that. So if you have a buyer who is, just say they're pre-approved to 650, and you're looking at houses at 625 to start.
Right.
They're going to get outbid within the first 4 days.
That's right, because somebody's
100%.
Right.
And we've seen houses go for 100, 110, 120 over the asking price.
Right. Absolutely.
So I always suggest, say, listen, you could get lucky, and we can see these homes in that price range, but let's start a little lower.
Let's be realistic, because we're going to have to go up from that number.
Right. So at least
you don't want to get outbid.
Right. You have some cushion to keep bidding,
right,
to keep upping your
to get
offer.
the end goal for you is to get the accepted offer.
That's exactly right.
You know, so
exactly
the end goal is really to get a client.
They might not like that, and they realize that when they go a little lower, the house may come with some needs,
with some work that's going to need to be a roof,
a kitchen,
a kitchen, some bathrooms,
the
boiler,
the boiler.
People don't look into
the
that.
Home.
Right.
Without that,
well, the electrical
it's
conduit,
a cold shell.
the electrical conduit that's down, that needs $5,000 just to,
right.
They don't think of these little things.
Right. So I enjoy taking people from all points of their journey and know exactly where they are, what they need at that point. If they're in the middle of the road and they've talked to a few lenders, they're savvy enough to know what their budget is,
right,
and what they can afford and where they need to start, because they're so sick and tired of getting beaten up and beaten out.
Right, and you feel like you're getting beaten to the punch. You don't get to that finish line,
right,
and you keep getting discouraged.
That's right.
Which, and people are looking at certain areas. A lot of people look for. There was a time where a lot of people were coming out of the city.
Huge.
When that was a big time for you. That was probably one of your best
from Queens.
Mass.
And
people were looking into specific school districts.
100%.
And
100%.
That's where people want to be. And now you happen to be in a great area where you are.
Right.
Because you got an amazing university there.
I love it.
I mean, it doesn't get any better. You're there, 17 years now?
I'm in Stony Brook 17 years.
17 years.
And to me, being the face of Stony Brook real estate is my goal, and I'm getting there.
And you've been the face for 7 years.
7 years.
But now we need to let the people know, and that's what this video is about, and the podcast is about, and to let people know what you bring to the table,
exactly,
why they should be contacting you.
So I want to thank you and Dean for this opportunity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We appreciate you coming tonight.
This is an amazing location.
Yes, it really is. And what we figured, what better, this is one of our clients. Oheka Castle is one of ISM's clients, and we figured what better way than to have an executive networking event at the castle.
I love it.
Here we are podcasting, talking about your business.
Right.
And you came down, had some food and some drinks, and what better than this on a Tuesday night?
I met some great people already.
Right. You met Corey, and he's doing commercial real estate. You do residential. And there's a big difference between the two.
People who want to get involved in commercial, multi levels and different hotels and boutique hotels. I just had that conversation. It's exciting.
Exactly.
It's exciting.
And here you are, people. You're looking at the face of Stony Brook right now. So remember Victor, because anybody looking for any kind of real estate, residential real estate in Stony Brook, you're going to want to reach out. And now let's touch on your team, because, you have a special team behind you. It's very hard. The business you're in is not easy.
No, it's not.
Okay, and you have to have the right pieces in place for you to make the process smoother and the transition better for people, because you have first-time buyers.
True.
You have buyers that are looking to buy second homes that are now an investment home that they're going to rent out. And so there's a whole process to this. Everybody's different.
There's a lot to know. And when I first started, I thought it was so exciting. HGTV, real estate multimillionaire in New York and L.A.
Let me go sell homes in the Hamptons.
Crazy.
And I'm going to be the next big Hampton seller.
100%.
Right? And you stuck to Stony Brook, which is way cooler.
When you realize that, you have, like any other business, any other sales and service business, you have to brand properly. but the service has to be there.
That's right. Has
You
to
have
back
to
the brand.
show up.
If the service doesn't, if you don't have service to back the brand is not going anywhere.
No. Service with a smile, show up. They are why you're there. Not you.
Right.
I'm not there because I think.
Yeah, look at me. I'm the big, right. I'm the big Stony Brook guy.
I want to make every one of my clients, I don't work transactionally. It's all relationship and referrals. So to me, everybody, every deal or every couple or every family that I'm working with is the most important thing.
Right.
I have a couple of agents that work under me that two of them are super young, and I'm nurturing them and showing them how to take care of people the proper way. Like I said, I was in another service industry for 30 years. So I've learned how to talk to people, and you have to learn how to find out what they need and how to help them.
That's right. So basically, you really, in any industry, but in yours particularly, you really got to be a good listener. You got to be able to listen to the needs that they want and not be the guy telling them what you're going to do for them. No, you really got to listen.
And a problem solver.
Because this is a major purchase in anybody's life. Doesn't matter who you are.
90%, it's the biggest purchase of their life.
And I have friends that have 4, 5, 6 homes. They buy real estate.
Right.
This is what they do.
Right.
They flip, they buy, they hold on to them, they rent them out, they have vacation homes.
Right.
So I know the process behind it.
I have these mini meetings and these mini seminars where I teach younger people or even older people who are changing their careers how to get a foot in. Like there's a house style called a high ranch. Everyone knows what that is.
Right.
But it's the perfect model to live in and bring income in.
And that's another thing that you brought up is a high ranch. So people want to have the mother-daughter.
Right.
Where they could buy the mother-daughter and
It's
rent out and have an
setup.
apartment and do it right with a permit and be inspected by the town. There's so much that goes into that.
So much.
And permits for the pool and the shed in the backyard that people don't realize that may affect the sale of a house.
And some towns are very difficult. And people like myself who have relationships with a lot of these inspectors in multi-towns
Right.
are very beneficial to the buyers and the sellers, because we get sellers, right, who come in and say, listen, my father put the extension on, there's no CO. We put another bathroom downstairs, there's no CO. Right. And you have to get around this. So I know some really great expediters who get these permits done for them before the sale.
That's right.
And that's beneficial. People are like, oh, I thought you couldn't do that. Of course you could do that. You want to be able to help out in as many ways as possible.
Right. So you're able to help them with getting the permits. You're also able to help them get them inspected. Okay. Right. And then you're going to have them with the lending. So there's a whole process here, and the team that you have. And now, we were talking about brand before, but Douglas Elliman, I mean, come on. Is there a higher name on Long Island?
No. Douglas Elliman opens doors. When I go into, say, a listing appointment, and they know I'm from Douglas Elliman, it gets you in deeper into the living room.
Is it bad to say that it's also going to create a long line for people to get in and see it? Because this does happen.
It does. The open houses are
and you got to put on little booties to get in, so you don't dirty the carpet.
Right.
Am I right?
Easy on the new hardwood floors. Take it easy.
It's true though.
Right.
Yeah. But you guys have an amazing name.
Yeah. It's an amazing brand.
So it's got to be a little easier for you when you come in and you're Douglas Elliman.
It helps.
Sure.
And
I'm Victor from Douglas Elliman.
The manager that I have now is Brian Jatta.
Okay.
And I work out of the Central Suffolk office, but since I live in Stony Brook, I'm also out of the Setauket office. And Brian manages five of the offices. And the amount of support that I get, and any other Douglas agent gets from the name alone, and from Brian Jatta, is just priceless.
It's second to none. And that's
it's
the name
great.
and like I said, the brand, which is what you're really trying to build up in Stony Brook, where you want Victor Stabile to be the face of Stony Brook.
Right.
And that's why he's here tonight, guys,
Exactly.
to show you the face. Right. Remember the face, because you're going to see him on the bus stops. You're going to see him on all the Facebook ads and the Instagram pages.
Flyers at your house.
And the
newspapers.
Right. Well, we're hoping we don't have to do the flyers. We're hoping we can do, we're hoping the social media gets to them a little quicker these days, because, man, everybody's swiping through. Now, do you make videos of the houses to show you guys? Because this is
I have my own videographer.
I was just going to say, this is a crucial part of your business.
Crucial.
So part of your team You have a videographer that goes in, takes the pictures, takes the videos, and puts them up so people can see the location and do a virtual tour online. And that probably makes it easier for you.
It does.
Because that's going to paint a picture of, does this work for you? Is this layout something you're interested in?
Right. I do something called Victor's View.
Oh, that's cool.
I'll go into, like I've done in Port Jeff, Northport, Smithtown, and I'll give a whole view of the town. The median sale price.
Right.
What the taxation could be.
Sure.
How the town got its name.
How it varies.
Smithtown was Richard Smith's bull.
Sure.
And the bull was named Whisper.
Right.
And they're like, oh, that bull has a name? Yeah, that big
right,
brass
the big bull I've seen forever.
Named Whisper.
Right. I didn't know he had a name.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I came from Northport, and we were Cow Harbor.
An interesting story about Smithtown. Richard Smith was given permission by the local natives that if he could ride how far as he can ride in a circle in that one, I think it was a few days or under or whatever it was, could be called Smithtown.
That would be his town.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
So he rode Whisper all around what you know as Smithtown now.
Wow.
He was able to encompass that as Smithtown.
That's incredible.
Pretty cool story.
Yeah, no doubt. See, you learn something new every day, and I am a sponge. I love learning, so that's why I'm here tonight, to learn a little. And I learned a little bit from Victor Stabile. You guys are going to remember the name. We're going to embed it into you with Douglas Elliman. And no, it's important, because you love what you do. You're passionate about it.
I really do.
And when you meet somebody that's passionate about what they do, it doesn't feel like it's work to them. And when you don't feel like it's work to you, you're much better at your job.
I get up 4:30 in the morning, and I immediately plan my day after I brain dumped the night before what I have to do.
Right, where you scheduled it all.
I love what I do.
Right.
I absolutely love helping people. I love getting that job done. And to me, it's about, now they'll pass me on to their aunts, their uncles, their cousins, their kids.
Because you did such a good job for them that they want to share you.
That's my goal. My goal is to be referred out because I've done a great job, or I've gone over and above. I've gone to their house and I've helped them.
You've met the family, and you got them on a big purchase. You're really helping people with a, you know.
It's a big deal.
It's a very big deal.
It's a big deal.
I can't think of a bigger one. I mean, you're buying a car, a plane, any of that, well, that's extracurricular. This is what you're calling your home. This is your house. This is.
It's amazing how many people start crying when they get the transfer of keys at a closing.
Sure, at a closing.
And every time it gets me.
Of course. How could it not?
Realize how
you were a connection
big this
for them.
is to people. That was their dream.
And they trusted you.
Yeah.
The trust.
Which is so cool.
Exactly.
And then you get invited to the weddings, the barbecues, which is great.
Right. We were all working off that winter weight, all of us. He's got the jacket hiding
I really love
it.
what I do. I really love it. And Stony Brook to me that's my location, but I work the entire island.
Right. So you're not limited to Stony Brook, but you just want Stony Brook to know that you're taking over.
Stony
There's
Brook
a takeover happening.
My hub.
It's going down. You've been there for 17 years.
Yeah.
And you're selling there for Douglas Elliman now 7 years.
Yeah, I've had kids go through the 3-village school district. My youngest is going to be a senior at Ward Melville. She's on the cheerleading team, and my oldest is now living in the city. She's a writer for Fox News.
Right.
My middle guy's going away to college soon.
Congratulations. Now, that's a whole different feat in its own. Family in town and doing that stuff.
Right.
And you have your roots are planted in Stony Brook, deep. And this is what people should realize is that you're deep, and that's why you're deeply attached and love it so much.
Right.
So that passion that's there is what I'm talking about.
I'm not just breezing through town.
You're not going anywhere.
No.
You're there. No. And now that you're there and you're building this team, tell me a little bit about the team that you're building and what it takes, like for somebody new out there that's getting into this that may want to come work for you.
I would love, listen, give me a call. You can find me on Instagram. You could
just reach out.
Cell number.
Exactly.
Right.
Go ahead. Give them the cell number.
Don't be 631-455-1744. Call me anytime.
You see that, guys?
Yeah, anytime. I'm looking for people who are coachable. I'm looking for people who love other people. I'm looking for people who are extroverts. This is it's a dynamic business.
Right.
It's not for the weak-hearted.
No.
It's not for the...
It's not easy.
You need some energy.
It's not easy. You're going to be going house to house to house, show them 10 houses, and nothing worked.
And listen...
And nothing worked.
No. Some deals are much harder than others. Some deals you show a buyer, and it's done.
Give me it could happen instantly, but give me the longevity of one that took a little longer than made of, but the process was worth it in the end.
Great. I've been working with this couple for 2 years. 2 years. And they had a very big budget, and they were all cash. They were liquid up to $1.4 million, and we couldn't find a home for them.
Wow.
Yeah. And you'd think,
And that was that because of supply and demand, or were they just picky about what they wanted?
They were specific about what they wanted.
Right.
Maybe I wouldn't say picky. Definitely specific
Okay.
about what they needed, because they have 2 children. They're coming out from Fresh Meadows.
Okay.
And they knew what they wanted to live a quieter life.
That exodus.
Out in the sticks, right? So I've been working with them, like I said, for 2 years, and most of the time, even though they were cash, we were getting outbid.
Wow.
Yeah. We'd go into a house that was, say, $999,999 just to keep it under that mansion tax, which is $1 million.
Right.
Right. So, and the bids would go up to 1,314 on the bigger houses.
Yeah. So they were getting outbid.
Getting outbid. So finally, 3 days ago, we got an accepted offer. We ended up.
That's a celebration all on its own.
Absolutely thrilled. I utilize my inspector at Premier Home Inspections, Rob Cicero, who is just amazing.
Gave Rob a good plug there.
Rob's great. Rob's a good man, right? So yes, it's a good plug for Rob, because he's got an excellent team, and my team is really growing nicely.
Good.
It's really growing nicely.
But there's always room to grow, and that's why anybody that's looking to get into this and really learn and get part of Stony Brook's takeover,
right? And the
Victor
classes
Stabile.
that I give, and the support and the opportunities,
right?
are
So
there.
you're taking your time to teach people the right way.
Absolutely. I don't
Because you
want
have
to do
to.
this for a week
Right.
or a year with them. I want them to get involved with my business
Career.
because the way I work the commissions is pretty lucrative.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the phone number, you heard it. The door is open. Come say hello. Don't be shy. Now, is there a website? How can people get in touch with you? You gave them your phone number just now.
Yeah.
That's great. Your phone's going to ring tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night.
Socials is Victor Stabile Realtor. It's the same as my website. There's the Douglas Elliman website. You can see what I have listed, what I've sold. You can Google me.
You could just Google Victor Stabile Douglas Elliman. He comes up in
Right up.
20. You'll see Instagram. You see it all.
Right.
He comes right up.
Hiding nothing. You could have a conversation with me. I'll lay it out. I'm a normal person, and
just give him a call.
as
and
many
let him,
faults as I have good qualities.
That's it. And we know there's a lot more good qualities there.
Right.
But seriously, you guys should definitely reach out to him, especially, and you don't have to be limited to Stony Brook. So he's just the face of Stony Brook. But if you want a house in Northport, Ashroken, Eaton's Neck, or anywhere across Long Island,
Selden, around Concomo, Lake Grove, doesn't matter.
the Hamptons,
I show up.
he's
Mutton
there.
Town.
Mutton Town.
Anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we made the point there.
Yeah.
You guys know how to find them. You can Google. I'll put the spelling, and we'll put some links in this video so you guys can reach out to him. And anybody else you want to shout out on your team or say thank you to? Or
Brianna Murphy, Ryan Sheridan, Sam Cacciatore.
See, this is going to
These
go.
are people that
You can't do it without them.
no, I work.
That's
very
why they're
well
on your
with them.
team.
Right.
All right, guys.
My lenders are just phenomenal. It's Hector Piscini, Nick Cesarini, and Kevin Dayton.
Okay.
Just phenomenal lenders who will tell you honestly what you can afford, so you know what your budget is.
Right, because it's all based on your income. It's got to be on your tax return.
Can't hide it.
It's got to be on the tax return.
Right, and people come. I funny story. I had someone come to an open house that was so sick of losing out. He came with a gym bag full of cash.
He was ready right there. He's like, I'll just give it to the owner.
I said, "Did you ever hear the Patriot Act? No, I can't take your cash, man." You know, did you come with your attorney? Because this looks really suspicious.
Right. Just show up with a duffel bag of cash.
Ridiculous.
And
he was
buy
like,
a
"I'm
house.
serious." I go, "I know you are."
He was
but
just tired of
I said,
being.
"If you call your attorney," and he did, and his attorney came right down. He ended up getting the house.
Oh my God.
But we couldn't.
So that's that happened to be a great story.
Right.
Right. You
So
figured out a way to put the money where it needed to be to make it look.
He needed to
gotta
put
be
it
good.
right. He had that was actually extra money for him. He had very
Right. He didn't need that to get the house, but he
Full
came with it
bank
because he
accounts.
wanted to make a serious
making a
statement.
statement.
He was making a statement.
He was making a
So
statement.
you gotta appreciate that.
Right.
But
I thought it was a great ploy.
because it can be frustrating for people.
Completely.
And we discussed that. We went over that. And it is. It's a tedious process. So having somebody like Victor Stabile in your corner is only going to make the process easier. Rely on him. Rely on his expertise and his passion, because that's what's going to help you get a home.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
yours. I really appreciate it.
So we appreciate you coming here tonight. We really do.
Thanks for
It was
having me.
Great event, and hopefully you'll come back for a few more. And I
definitely.
know me and you are going to be doing some more podcasting. That's for sure. This is this is only the beginning for us.
Great,
so I'm
great.
looking forward to it.
Me
and
too.
We had a great night here tonight. So guys, Gaige from ISM signing off. Say goodnight to Victor Stabile. And
Guys,
check
thank
him
you
out
so
at Douglas
much.
Elliman. You're very welcome. All right. Thanks for listening to ISM Radio. Join us for our invitation-only executive networking event at the legendary Ohika Castle. For more information, visit ideastreammarketing.com.